Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Talking Through the Medias. This is Chris Fagan, and this is your home for entertainment news and reviews. No, reactions and reviews by fans for fans. I'm your host, Chris Fagan. I almost messed up the whole intro, but joining me today on a Sunday. We don't normally do this on Sunday, so I'm sorry for all the hiccups and stuff like that, but I'm happy to be back with you guys. I wanted to just do a quick episode because I thought these topics was important to talk about. And joining me on a Sunday to help me out with the channel is the boy himself. He's back, Ricky Buzz. What's going on, Ricky? How you doing, man?
I'm good.
You good? You're good. Let me turn your volume up. Let's make sure. Your screen is good. Everything's good. Just keep yourself centered. You're good. Everything's good on your end. Let's do a quick volume check real quick. Say something else real fast.
Yo.
There you go. All right, we got you back. We got you in there. I'm gonna make sure that there you go. I got you censored now. All right, guys. We got some topics that we're gonna talk about. The Gina Carano situation update with that just happened on CBR. All these topics are coming from CBR.com. There was Gina Carano. There was some DC news where we're gonna talk about Titans, Peacemaker, and the movies that have been canceled by Disney. Just real fast, I just wanted to throw it out. Guys, if you want to support the channel, like, subscribe, become a subscriber. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about. If you want to talk about any of the topics that we're talking about tonight, I'm watching you guys in the chat, so let me know what you guys are thinking at all times. Let me make sure that I'm all right. Almost forgot to go live on Instagram. All right, so yeah, we're live on all the socials. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and all that, and on X. But guys, hit me up. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the topics, and as we go through them, just I'll be watching the chat. So without further ado, let's just get started real quick on the first topic of the day. Let's see what we have here. We got. Okay, the news that came, this update that Gina Carano, after being ousted by Disney from the Lucasfilm show The Mandalorian, she had an update on CBR.com saying that her and Pedro Pascal, they were really, really close at one point. He gave advice during the time that she was getting canceled. And we're gonna go into it real quick. Before I get into that, Ricky, do you know anything about this update? I think this just dropped, but have you heard anything about this update so far that's happened recently?
No, I haven't. The last update that I remember was that she was suing Disney.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that. Okay. So, and I got on her about this whole thing with her suing Disney, because it proved my point. Back then, I said, I said a long time before that lawsuit came in, that she's missing those Disney dollars, and she knows she made a mistake. But everybody's always complaining, like people, especially people on that side of the aisle, complaining that Disney is the one being like too woke or making everything political. But I argue that everybody makes everything political, whether you're left or right. Everybody sometimes goes too far and makes everything political. And I felt like she thought that because who the president was at the time and how things were at the time, that she thought it was funnier to just be edgy and to go against the grain and to be controversial, because she sees that certain politicians can do it and get away with it. But in my opinion, not everybody is that politician, and not everybody can do that. And she found out the hard way, and she lost, a job that honestly was I honestly think for her career, acting wise, was the best thing that she had going at the time. And the sky could have been the limit. She could be way bigger than what she is now. But she thought, I feel like she thought it was funnier to do that versus focus on her own career. But what do you think about that whole thing with the lawsuit?
Yeah, you can tell she's hurting. And you said her career could have gone upward. I said, yeah, she could have had a cameo in one of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
She could have been like a real part of that franchise.
She could,
But
exactly.
It's just plateaued from there. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see how this plays out for her.
I do you think that this lawsuit situation is going to anything's going to happen with that with that? I mean, in her lawsuit, just to remind people, she specifically is suing to get her job back. She came from being on the side of they're too woke and they're too blah blah blah. You know, they're again, infringing on my freedom of speech. Okay, then why do you want to work with them again? It specifically said in her lawsuit that she wants her job back. If they're so, snowflakey and all that, why do you want your job back? I mean, does that make sense to you?
Nah, she easily could just go do something else.
but
Like,
but that's easier said than done. I mean, not that many people are you know like fighting to get her into in any of their projects. I mean, she was doing some independent stuff here and there, but I'm telling you, like we said, she's missing those Disney dollars. She talked all that shit and she thought it was funny, but now she's finding out the hard way that and now these new reports are coming out. So let's dive into it real quick. And let me get us both on screen here real fast. Let's see if we there we go. I know. Let's see. We got from the update from CBR.com in regards to Pedro Pascal. She's talking about him again. Her and Pedro, were so close. Gina Carano addresses Pedro Pascal friendship. Let's see. Gina Carano looked back at how close she was with Pedro Pascal during their time as co-stars on the TV show The Mandalorian. In the first two seasons of The Mandalorian, Gina Carano played Cara Dune, while Pedro Pascal served as the voice and unmasked version of the lead character Din Djarin. In 2021, Lucasfilms cut ties with Carano based on controversial social media posts. More recently, filed a lawsuit against Disney with the backing of billionaire Elon Musk. In a new interview about the lawsuit with The Hollywood Reporter, Carano spoke about how she was very close with Pedro Pascal, sharing how he tried to help her during the social media controversy. She also touched on a more recent phone call with Pedro Pascal, revealing how the actor called her after the passing of their Mandalorian co-star Carl Weathers. So that was recent, I guess. That okay. So after Carl Weathers passed away, he reached out to her, and I thought they cut ties completely, but it seems to me like he's still trying to be like a good dude, and he hasn't cut ties with her. What do you think about that news? That the fact that they still talk.
I'm sure they probably had a relationship out, like a good platonic like friendship outside of work,
Yeah.
outside of filming The Mandalorian. Pedro Pascal seems like that type of person I would try to reach out and at least just say, "Hey, what's up?"
I mean, yeah, nobody's disputing that. Everybody so far says that he's a decent dude. Continue on real fast. One particularly problematic post made online by Carr was in reference to the pronouns and sexual identity. At a time when others on social media were adding pronouns to their bios, Carr spoofed a concept by noting how she identifies as boop, bop, beep. She now questions why the joke was so harmful. Anyway, insisting she wasn't trying to mock the trans community and adding, I thought it was cute, like R2D2. Regardless of her intentions, the joke resulted in online backlash against Carano, and now the Cara Dune actress addressed how Pascal, who has a trans sister, offered her some advice to curb the criticism, though she admittedly did not take the advice. What do you think about that?
uh, I don't know, stubborn people stuck in their stubborn ways.
Do you buy the whole fact that she didn't know that it was harmful? That like as if she didn't think that it was such. Do you buy that explanation today that I didn't think it was that bad or that harmful?
I could see where she was coming from, thinking it was a bit funny in reference to Star Wars, but I don't think she like thought it would be like when she wrote it in the moment. I'm sure she's probably like, "Oh, Star Wars."
Yeah.
But thinking like not looking at it from another person's perspective, I don't think she like did that. Oh, how would this affect somebody? And
With
even then,
me,
it didn't sound like she came out and apologized or anything on
well,
it.
I mean, well, with that mentality, never apologize, never. I mean, always double down and never apologize. That's. I mean, but me, you're never gonna convince me that she didn't know what she was doing. She knew. I mean, because why do the? It's to me, it's funny how some people always like back in the day when Obama was running for president. There was these dudes that had these flyers that they were passing out. They were food stamps, and they had Obama's picture on it, and they had every black stereotype on the food stamp: fried chicken, welfare, stuff like that, all kinds of stuff, right? And they were like, and then when they were questioned about it, they were like, "Oh, is fried chicken racist? Oh, I didn't know. Oh, so yeah, you didn't know it. Yeah, you didn't get it. You didn't know that was right. But yet you still somehow managed to hit each and every stereotype on this flyer. But yet you didn't know. No, me personally,
Yeah,
I don't know. You being nicer to me, I don't buy it. I think she knew exactly what she was doing, and she didn't care because at that time she thought it was funnier to be on that side of it. And I think she thought she could get away with it, and thinking that because at the time I remember Disney, a lot of people were asking for her to be fired way before Disney ever did. She did a lot of things on social media and Pedro Pascal before they did anything. And the reports came out that they came to Pedro Pascal and said, "Hey, you need to stop with all these attacks on Trump and all that stuff. You need to cut it out." And he did. He stopped. She didn't. And then she got fired. People were wondering why it took Disney so long. But I don't know. Are you on when she got fired? Did you like understand? Did you think it was unfair, or did you like makes? Or were you like, meh, makes sense? Or did you care? I mean, did you even think
I
about
hadn't
it?
paid attention that much. I just remember he made like comments about like the vaccine, and then like I know she lost her job after that.
Oh shit, she did more than that. I mean, she made. I mean, you know what? I'm not even gonna rehash all the crap that she did. If you guys want to talk about it in the chat, I mean, you guys. I mean, if you're a Gina Carano supporter, if you know what she did, I mean, you guys know. But here, before we move on to the next story, here's something else from comic book CBR.com. He goes, he was telling me just put hashtag trans in your feed. Do it and they'll leave you alone. But I wonder what that meant. Did that mean they meaning the the people online, like the detractors, or they meaning Disney will leave you alone? I wonder. I'm assuming that means Disney, but I don't know. And then Karina Carano goes, I didn't take the advice because that's not my style. To put hashtag anything. I'm also not going to put hashtag Trump's rights. So but then she continues on. She added, "Me and Pedro were so close. He knows 1,000% I'm not homophobic or transphobic. He texted me after Carl Weathers passed away. We had our conversation and it was beautiful. One thing he did say was, 'Thank you. You and Carl Weathers have always been protectors, and he knows what that means, and I know what that means. And I wish I could tell why. We basically left it at that. I can't wait to give you a big hug.' Is pretty much what they're saying. Final thoughts on it before we move on. What do you think about that?
It's gonna be funny how this all plays out. I don't know. We'll see. I know Pedro Pascal's not gonna comment on any of this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, true enough. I mean, and it could be 100% true. I mean, I believe it. Like you said, he's known for being a nice guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's probably how it went down. It's not hard to prove a phone call. Just show the phone records. But I mean, the other part that do I buy that she didn't think it was a big deal? No, I don't buy that. That she didn't know why it was so bad. I mean, people always say that, but in the corporate world, it's not what you meant. Sometimes it's how the other person takes it. Oh, when I called you sugar tits, I didn't mean anything bad about it. It doesn't matter. You still don't do that. we're not gonna have you in our company if you go around calling women sugar tits or something like that. It doesn't matter if you mean it as a compliment. They don't want to hear it. They don't. That's not. This is not the environment. I don't know. I mean, I can go on and on about that stuff. Guys, let us know what you think about this whole situation with Gina Carano, Pedro Pascal. Do you agree? Are you still on the side of freedom of speech and they're censoring her and blah blah all that stuff, or are you on the side of the facts that Disney they gave her multiple chances and she decided to say, go the other way, and then they decided to disassociate. Let us know in the chat, like comment in the chat box, and let's keep talking about that. And let's move on to the next topic. So you brought this to my attention, and that the Teen Titans news that they are coming out with a live action movie. Now, you said you know about what is this that's going on from what you know while I look it up?
So far, what we know is that the writer of Supergirl will be the writer of the movie of Teen Titans live action, and that it's going to be a part of James Gunn.
With an all new feature film. Per The Hollywood Reporter, it has been revealed that a live action Teen Titan movie has entered development at DC Studios. The screenplay will reportedly be written by Ana Nogueira, if I'm saying that right, who is already working on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie that's set in James Gunn's and Peter Safran's DCU. It's not yet clear if the Teen Titans film will also be set in the DCU or if it will be a standalone film under the DC Elseworld banner. That's a good question. If you had to guess, would you put, or if you were advising on this, would you want to see a Teen Titans movie in the DCEU proper or Elseworld? What would you want?
A DCEU. That way it's connected to the bigger story.
You will. So if you're putting your money on it, you're going to put your money on DCU.
Yeah. Because we already have.
I'm gonna. If I was a betting man, I'm gonna guess Elseworld, because
they already Titans the show on HBO already, which is sort of connected to like the DCEU in a way.
I look at the Teen Titans as like how Deadpool, that they can break the fourth wall and they can make fun of anything. I look at that show and I think I wouldn't even be surprised if they in the cartoon would bring up the fact that it was the DCEU and now it's the DCU. They're just like Deadpool. They don't care proper. But I'm gonna say Elseworld. But that's just me. But any other reasons why you prefer it to be in DCU?
I mean, I think I could see some of the. We could bring more the JSA in there, Justice Society of America. Cyborg.
So just to move it along and get.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Just to get all that stuff, in effect, but what do you see this being? Do you think this is going to be like a comedy, like the way the cartoon is, or do you think it's going to be serious?
No, I think it'll be serious, like the original animated series was.
Which one is better to you, Teen Titans or Teen Titans Go?
No, Teen Titans.
He didn't even hesitate. Well, I mean I agree. I like Teen Titans Go. I think it's got its place. I see why it's successful. It is funny as hell, but I love the original Teen Titans. I mean, come on, that was awesome. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. But I feel like Ricky thinks it's gonna be serious, and in the DCU proper, I feel like it's probably best fit to be Elseworld. Just in case, I hope there's just let's just hope that this isn't another like Batgirl situation or what's been happening lately. Those movies that have been getting shelved and stuff.
Wonder Twins. They had announced the cast and everything, and they announced like the director, and they just never made it, and they canceled it.
Right. I hope that this doesn't become another one of those situations where the roster for upcoming projects, like movies like a fourth Ant-Man movie, the next Captain Marvel movie, the sequel to Eternals. That one I'm more surprised about. All these titles that have been canceled. Are you surprised at any of these? What are your thoughts on? Did you hear about these cancellations, or that these movies are
Yeah.
in kind of like limbo, or they might not come out? What do you think about it? And which one of these titles would you think that they should, or do you believe that they should go forward with? What are your thoughts on this all overall? Before I pull up the article.
Nah. Well, with the recent Marvels movie pretty much kind of not making its money back, a budget of 300 million, and they barely getting, I think, what, 400 million
Mm-hmm.
gross.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like Marvel's or DC or Disney's pretty much looking at it like we can't be taking high risk because they had well, Disney as a whole, they had Indiana Jones, the Marvels, I think Ant-Man come out as well, and I think they didn't even break a billion for the year. So they're looking at it like we can't be taking risks with high budgets, and especially with some new directors, different directions, and how they're going with stuff. So they're kind of looking to scale back and make sure that they're at least bringing out a profit.
Right. So to not hurt the overall Marvels. Now, before I continue on, I'm gonna tell you why I kind of disagree with that. Because when the Flash came out, and when that was disappointing and didn't meet the expectations, didn't meet the hype that Warner Brothers was trying to build around it. One of the things that kept happening on social media was showing how well Marvel with the Eternals handled the special effects for a speedster in comparison to any of the attempts that DC did, whether it was Zack Snyder or anybody. It was funny how I was seeing a bunch of side by side comparisons on how well, and it was the Eternals, a movie that wasn't that well received, had a lot of mixed reviews, a lot of people hating on it, but one of the things that the things that they liked about it, they championed, and a lot of people were like going back to it, like, let me give the Eternals a second chance. I feel like it was a movie that got more respect after it had something else to compare it to, like the Flash movie or something, if that makes sense. And people were willing to go back and go, okay, maybe we judged that one a little too harsh. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. What do you think about the Eternals? Do you agree with Bob Iger wanting to pull the plug on?
Well, when it originally came out, I thought it would have made more sense as a Disney Plus series, just because you're introducing a whole new like team or a group of people,
Hmm.
and essentially it doesn't feel like each character gets a.
In with the speedster fighting against the Superman like character. I already forgot their names, but I mean visually it was pretty tight. But I see where Bob Iger is going with this. I agree with him. Like continuing on with it, Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, however, would still like to see sequels and get it made. Ant-Man 4, Captain Marvel 3 are also not expected to happen. I understand what with Ant-Man 4. I even for the most part, because of the fact that the numbers did so low, Captain Marvel 3. The only reason why I disagree with Captain Marvel 3 is because the Marvels should not have been called the Marvel. It should have been called Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah,
And it should have been handled like I said it like this. That story that we got in the Marvels, all those flashbacks of what she did between the time of the Marvels and after what happened in the first movie when she went back to that planet and destroyed everything and messed everything up. That should have been the movie. It should have been that, and then everything that happened that we got the main story in the Marvels with Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel and that then the Marvel should have been Captain Marvel 3, and all those flashbacks that we saw should have been Captain Marvel 2. That's just my opinion. I feel like that's the mistake that they made. But it's too late now. Uh, but it continues on. Ant-Man, he said he compared it to that. Like Marvel hyped this man up, and then the second that he had his controversy, they immediately called in the hit squad and got and disassociated with an Ant-Man 4. It'll just remind everybody about the Kang situation and stuff. So yeah, I
yeah.
agree with that. Um, Before moving on from this one to the last one, do you buy into it as this is Disney? Because this is what a lot of people are saying online, that this is Disney uh canceling all their woke projects. Do you buy that, or do you? What do you think?
Nah,
What do you?
nah, it's all about money at the end of the day. They're just trying to they're just trying
Yeah,
to protect their bottom line.
dude, I was surprised at like the dude Tyrone Magnus, man. That's I mean that dude. Man, I got to do a whole video about this dude. That dude changed, man. Everything's woke. Man, there's nothing about it ain't because they're still moving forward with all the other movies that were also deemed as quote unquote woke. I mean, this is they're just cutting out the ones that just did the poorest in the box office. This
Yeah,
like you said, this is about money,
yeah,
and I mean, in a lot of ways, I mean, like what they're doing right now online with X-Men '97 about X-Men now being woke and stuff. Like, did y'all not watch that cartoon in the '90s? They were all about equality and people's rights. Like, what are y'all talking about? Out of Ant-Man 3, the Marvels, and Eternals, Eternals was the superior film. And it is the one I feel, and Kevin Feige, that's the one Kevin Feige. It's like it's like he's understanding what Bob Iger is saying about the other two, but I understand him at least wanting to fight for Eternals too. It's not as good as Guardians, that ensemble.
yeah.
Maybe an Eternals series makes more sense. If at the very least, maybe he should fight for that instead of a Eternals 2. Maybe an Eternals series makes more sense. But
Yeah.
that's a downgrade in my opinion, though. But I don't know. What are you about to say?
Well, I mean, think about it. We went from Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, to following like his team to then having a solo show in Peacemaker. So
Yeah, but that's one character though. That's just focusing on one character. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't the whole. It wasn't a Suicide Squad series. Now that I could understand, like if they did a series based on one of the Eternals characters, maybe that's the way to go. Um, but the question is which one. I you know I don't know. I feel like I agree with Feige. I'm on Feige's side on it, but at the same time, Bob Iger ain't a fool. He knows the business. He know the company. So and Bob Iger and Feige, I trust. So I don't know. I'm cool either way. And speaking about Peacemaker, that was a good segue that you brought us into that. Um,
into my universe, but some people are mad because his wife, who's in the show, she's part of it. People are saying, well, he just wants to keep his stuff and only hire the people he works with. But other directors have done it. So what's any different with him?
what if this is a whole plot just to keep his wife happy and keep her working? That'd be funny. Let's see real fast. Jennifer Holland is preparing for the start of Peacemaker season 2 productions. Recently, James Gunn confirmed that all of these scripts of Peacemaker 2 had been completed. Now, Gunn's wife and Peacemaker star Jennifer Holland has shared a new update on filming will start. On Instagram, Holland posted a video of herself in the gym training with Superman star Mariah Gabriel Del Ferrari, who plays the engineer in the Gunn film. In the comments of the post, a fan asked if there was going to be a second season of Peacemaker, prompting Holland to respond, "Yes, we start filming this summer. It's gonna be so good." And here's them in the
Yeah,
I didn't even see this post, but yeah, here they go right there in the gym getting it in,
yeah,
getting those gains in. Dang. Okay, I can watch that all day. But yeah, uh, you said that you now, what were your overall thoughts on this whole situation though, with the fact that season 1 is no longer canon? So, what do you think the changes are going to come up for season 2? What do you how EU is that last episode when Aquaman and the Flash showed up with and everybody? That's pretty much it. You cut that out. It doesn't really connect that much.
yeah,
So, are you looking forward to it? I mean, you
yeah. Going forward to
what
it.
did you think about the Peacemaker series?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I like the way it ended, and especially with them introducing Viola Davis in the scene.
No,
It makes me excited to see what they're gonna do with her character.
Yeah, and I don't mind them always James Gunn always bringing his wife into the show. I like her, and I always look forward to seeing. I liked her even in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I always like James Gunn movies when we see people pop up that we know is a part of his clique. I always think that's what makes the shows and the TV show and the movies are good. It's that friendship that these guys work well together. They have fun. I'm looking forward to the Superman movie. I think he's just making his roster of friends even bigger and stronger. I think it looks like they're having fun. I think I'm not anything with James Gunn. I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about it at all. Any final thoughts? Says Peacemaker 2 is still part of the DCU. Oh, here's something real fast. The first TV series is set in the DCU will be Creature Commandos and an animated show. This will launch in the late 2024 on Max, coming ahead of Superman hitting theaters in July of 2025. There are it'll hardly be addressed where we don't even care. Just keep moving on. Like the majority of the fanboys like us, we're gonna care and we're gonna have questions, but the average entertainment viewer, consumer, they're not even gonna notice or care. They're not gonna care. The average person won't know the difference between the DCEU and the DCU. They're not gonna care. Yeah. Oh, Superman's different now. Okay, who cares? They just this guy's Superman now. Okay.
We've had like 3 different Supermans.
Yeah.
We've had Tom Welling in Smallville, Tyler, the dude from Superman and Lois, Brandon Routh from Superman Returns, and Henry Cavill.
Dean Cain, Brandon Routh. I mean, people get that these are different series and different movies.
Yeah.
But in this situation, it's connected to something that was done before, but nobody really cares. For the most part, I don't think people really care. Only people that really care are the people like us that pay attention, that read these things and know. But the people who don't know, like that James Gunn was with Marvel and now he's with DC, and that James Gunn got hired to maybe keep going with the DCU, but now he decided to reboot it and call it the DCU. The average person, they don't know, they don't care. They just want to see if John Cena is going to come back, and because that show was funny. That they don't care. That's just how I feel about it. But guys, let us know what you guys think about these topics that we talked about. Peacemaker, are you looking forward to it? Do you care that it's
underscore QS?
And I'll put that in the description below for Buzz underscore QS if you want to reach out to Ricky. And if you want to reach out to me, it's always at Chris W. Fagan or at T3 Media Studios. Send us topics. If you want to support the channel, you can do so on like sending super chats, donating. If you want to do so, it really does help us out. It helps us to keep sending this content to you, or just doing something as simple as hitting the like button. That's free. If you're watching us right now, go to YouTube, hit the like button on these videos, and share your comments. And I love talking with you guys and getting to know what you guys think about these things. With that all out the way, Rick, appreciate you, man. Thanks for helping me out with tonight's episode, and we'll see you. We're gonna see you again on the show. Like I said, I know we had some issues with the technical stuff on it, but we're gonna get that all fixed up. But at least the sound quality was on point. We're good. So check us out on the podcast. Speaking of that, check us out on the podcast at T3 Media Studios, and like I said, send us topics, send us things you want us to talk about, and let's keep talking. Till next time, guys. Peace. Have a good one. See you next time.
Remember to like this video, become a subscriber, and share. This really does help us out. If you would like to watch more from us from T3 Media Studios, click here or here. Thanks for watching. Stop being NC-17.